What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko and I'm back. I know it's been a while, but I'm busy with school. I'm sorry guys. But anyways, I'm not gonna make this intro long because I have a tendency to make intros really long. Sorry if my voice is like cracking and stuff. I'm kind of sick. But I wanted to bring you guys my Trickstar deck profile. Now it's a little bit different because this is like a link spam version of Trickstar, and it just gets a bunch of link monsters out as fast as possible. You can get Saryuja out basically turn one, like every turn, and then it just nets you a lot of plus, and then just little disruptions here and there, and then you can just OTK if like your next turn. You do want to go first going with this deck, obviously, because you want to link spam and make a good board. And yeah, I'll just get right into it, to be honest. The main deck is 40, obviously 15 cards in the extra. I won't be showing you guys a side deck for this just because side deck is usually up to preference, and you're probably just going to be siding hand traps, mind controls, you know, the generic stuff. But yeah, let's get into the profile. So, start things off, you are running the Trickstar engine that everyone runs, in my opinion, that never should change. And that is 3 Candina, 3 Licorice, and the 1 Lilybell. I think that's obvious. I think this doesn't move regardless of what you're playing or how you're playing the deck, because all of this is just really important to get all your plays going. And that's basically it for the Trickstars, right? Then you're playing 3 Phantom Skyblaster. Now, Phantom Skyblaster is actually one of those cards that makes link spamming really easily. And then why do you play Phantom Skyblaster in Trickstar if you already have a normal summon Candina? That's because you're playing Brilliant in this deck, and I'll show you guys. You'll see it eventually, but Skyblaster makes plays like opening Skyblaster is just amazing in this deck. Next, you are playing 1 Trick Clown, 1 Damage Juggler, and 1 Hat Tricker. So the reason for this is actually because, well, Brilliant Fusion obviously for the Trick Clown, but then as well, like the Damage Juggler and the Hat Tricker are pretty good, because if you draw into Trick Clown, I've noticed that sometimes, you know, sending your Trickstar monster is never bad to the graveyard. However, you know, sometimes you can send your Damage Juggler if you have this in hand, and then you can add Hat Tricker from your deck. And then this is just another monster that you can special summon for free that can just extend your link plays. And then obviously you are playing 1 Garnet, because I hate this card, but you have to, because Brilliant Fusion makes this card quote unquote good, but you have to play that, and it just makes the link spamming super easy. Then for the last to like round off your monsters, you're playing 6 hand traps only, 3 Ash, and 3 Droll. And I couldn't stay away from Droll because, again, Droll in this deck just works amazingly with Reincarnation, so you can't stay away from this. Ash, you can actually move, if you can't afford like Ashes right now because they are expensive, you can actually change these out for like a card like Mind Control, Effect Veilers, Ghost Ogres, anything out for Ash, but these are the best 6 in my opinion. And that's it for the monsters. Pretty high monster count for a Trickstar deck profile, but it is actually really important to run all these monsters. Next, for the spells, you're playing triple Brilliant Fusion. I really wanted to play the Orpheus Scorpio and stuff to search this out, but it just, I don't know, it just kind of like hard to play it in this deck, and if that gets stopped, like, you lose a lot of momentum if that gets stopped. So I just play the Brilliant Fusion instead. Maybe you can bait out like an Ash or something with your Candina, and then you like, let's say you draw into this. Brilliant Fusion is just amazing. So yeah, obviously triple Brilliant Fusion. You are obviously still playing triple Light Stage, the like best card in your deck in my opinion, like one of the best ones, and double Terraforming, because you need to get this as fast as possible. This card just extends your plays so much. And then yeah, of course with Brilliant Fusion. Then I'm playing a card that I see some people play in Trickstar that I didn't like at first, but it actually kind of makes sense in a build like this. Triple Fiend Sanctuary. Now if you guys don't know what Fiend Sanctuary does, it just literally says special summon 1 Metal Fiend token. It cannot attack. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving it. During each of your standby phases, pay 1,000 life points or destroy this token. Now, the pay 1,000 life points is not important at all, because you're just using this as a token to get another monster on field to just link away essentially. And then if you open this plus like your Phantom Skyblaster, that's just amazing. Like, imagine activating Fiend Sanctuary, then normal summoning Phantom Skyblaster. And then now that I kind of think about it, is Phantom Skyblaster the monster on Fiend Sanctuary? They actually look similar, no? Anyways, but yeah. So summoning, like, opening these two is just amazing, because you just get so much advantage from opening or playing this card itself. It's just a free token essentially. I still did decide to play double Scapegoat. Now I know it was kind of hard, like I didn't want to, but you know, taking Scapegoat out of Trickstar is just super hard for me. The reason I didn't want to was because theoretically it's not really good in this deck, because you're gonna be spamming board a lot, and then when you spam board, Scapegoat's just not that good, and you also want it to be a turn 1 like turbo deck. So that's why I didn't like Scapegoat per se. But there are times where your opponent's just going to get over your board, or sometimes, you know, like it happens to everyone, you brick, but you open Scapegoat. This card is just amazing, and it's auto win against a lot of decks. So that's why I decided to keep it in. Of course, if you guys want to make it more spammy, you can actually just take these two out, play more token generators, play more monsters. You can take these two out, and maybe find some space for the Orphis Scorpio and like the Predator engine. But yeah, I still couldn't take these out, like, regardless. Double Call by the Grave, because again, combo deck, you need to play Double Called by the Grave so you don't die and lose to hand traps. And then I'm just playing one Monster Reborn and one Pot of Desires just for consistency. You can take this out. The deck is pretty consistent on its own, so you can take this out, the double Scapegoat, if you guys like. But it just, I'm a fan of this card. Or I'm not a fan of this card, but I'm also a fan of this card because sometimes it comes up and you're like, wow, I'm really happy I had this card. And then again, Scapegoat I already explained. You guys can take out if you want to make it more turbo-y. And last thing for the main deck, guys, I'm playing Triple Reincarnation. I wanted to play more traps, but there's actually cool plays with like Saryuja where you can draw like however amount of cards, and then just if you draw into your hand traps, you basically end your board with like a Saryuja, some random monsters underneath it, and a bunch of hand traps, and that's just amazing because your opponent really can't play around all of that stuff. So again, you can take out also these two Scapegoats for more hand traps, because even though you want to go first, playing more hand traps is actually good in this deck, because after you make Saryuja and you just draw a bunch of cards, you want to have those hand traps, so basically your opponent like can't play at all, and then you can just OTK them next turn. Most of the time, that's just how this deck plays, to be honest with you. So that's it for the main deck. 40 cards in the main deck. So off to the extra deck, obviously playing 15 cards, and one of my favorite cards in this deck, and not favorite cards in general, is Saryuja. I actually don't like this card because a lot of decks that need to make this card are usually decks that are not good and need to generate advantage somehow, and I don't really like that. A lot of people like to overhype this card, but in this deck it actually is pretty good because it works with what you're trying to do. Like I already said, you make this, you draw into a bunch of hand traps, maybe a Reincarnation, you set a Reincarnation with a bunch of hand traps, and your opponent just basically can't play, and then you just OTK them with this. And then also the special summon effect is actually pretty important or handy because you just get to like you get a free monster on board. Obviously that's really good, but again, I just don't like it because using 4 monsters to make it just takes so much of your resources away. And sometimes if I open like not great, I'll make it, but a lot of time like you don't even have to make this, right? Because again, so I'm just gonna continue, it'll make more sense. So I'm playing obviously double Borreload, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Borreload, and obviously really good OTK monsters, 1 Firewall, 1 Griffin. Now, this is what I meant by if I have a really good opening hand, I actually don't make Saryuja. I'll make like a Firewall Griffin. There's a couple combos. It's not really a combo, but depending on what you open, you can just end the board with like Firewall Griffin like this, or like this, or whatever, it doesn't matter. But you end with Firewall Griffin, and that's actually really strong because like, you know, you get a balance plus you get the negate of the effects. It's really good. 1 Unicorn, because obviously Unicorn is really good. Removal, 1 Proxy Dragon, just usually I use it to like link up. 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix. You can actually end on these sometimes, and that's actually really good because it'll protect from destruction in battle and card effect or whatever. So they're really good. 1 Wee Witch. This is actually kind of important. I know this is kind of weird in the Trickstar deck because they're all lights, but it's actually kind of important, or kind of like necessary sometimes, I guess you could say, because the Fiend Sanctuary tokens as well as the Phantom Skyblaster tokens, wherever Phantom Skyblaster is right now, yeah, Skyblaster tokens are dark, and so are the Fiend Sanctuary tokens. So then you can just make this for free essentially, and then continue to link up from there. 1 Mrs. Radiant. This is because Scapegoat tokens are Earth, but again, if you guys decide to take out the Scapegoat, you can move the Mrs. Radiant, make it something else. Obviously, again, you're playing like double Link Rebo and Link's or double Link Spider and Link Rebo. These again for the Scapegoats, and Link Rebo obviously makes it's a Boral Sword play and whatnot. The reason I like the Mrs. Radiant Link Spiders as well is because later into the game, if you grind it out a little bit and you activate a Scapegoat, you can actually make misses with double Link, and if your opponent has no monsters on field, you can actually beat them down with this a lot. It actually does a lot of damage because each of these will be 15 and this will be 19. So that's actually a lot of damage with just these 3 cards, and that's just obviously off of Scapegoat. And if you're under like a rivalry or whatever, it's really good. And then or you know, not rivalry, sorry, it goes in. It was really good. And then obviously 1 Seraphonite. That's it for the 15 card extra deck, and I'm just gonna do a couple test hands and show you guys what we can do with the deck, I guess. Why not? Alright, so let me show you guys first take what the deck can do. We're gonna do a quick little shuffle and put it down, split the deck. Okay, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so with a hand like this, it just kind of looks like a normal Trickstar hand, to be honest with you. In this case, like if you open something like this, I guess you just play a normal Trickstar hand. You'll terraforming, get your light stage, probably get a Licorice, Licorice with Candina Search to get something else, and it'll probably just be a regular Trickstar hand. So that's the thing with this deck, which is kind of cool, is because even if you open like not amazing like that, it's just a regular Trickstar hand at that point. And like, I mean, regular Trickstar hands are pretty good in themselves, right? Like Trickstar has shown to be a pretty good deck. So let's get another opening hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see if we can get a good combo hand here. So you open with Fiend Sanctuary, and oh my god, okay, so this is an amazing hand. This hand is going to get you so much work done, and I'll actually show you guys. I'll play this hand out, and I'll show you guys what you can do with this hand. So, honestly, you can start off with the Fiend Sanctuary. It doesn't really matter. You can start off with the Brilliant Fusion, but let's just start off with the Brilliant Fusion here. I'll put the hand to the side over here. So this is your hand, and we'll start off with the Brilliant Fusion. Brilliant Fusion is going to send... you already have Hat Trigger, so you're going to send the Trick Clown as well as Garnet to the graveyard, and you're gonna summon your Seraphinite. Okay, so this is extra monster zone. Okay, this is the graveyard, and then this is gonna special summon itself from the graveyard to pay 1,000 life points. Okay, so now you can actually activate Hat Trigger and just special summon it for free because you have 2 monsters on the field, and then you can actually activate Fiend Sanctuary to get a token. So let's just use itself as a token. So here's your field right now. Right away, you can see your hand's not amazing, and you don't like the second Brilliant Fusion in your hand. So you can actually just make Sayuja here, to be honest. Okay, so basically right away, without even using your normal summon, you can link away these 4 to make Sayuja. Now, as you guys can see, like in a hand like this, you just make Sayuja to fix your hand. So you're going to end up drawing 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is amazing, and then you're going to have to put back 3, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know you're going to put back this. Let's put back the Scapegoat because you probably won't need that. And let us, you could play Monster, you could keep the Monster Reborn, but you have the Droll Reincarnation combo here. So let's just put back Monster Reborn here. And then put these back to the bottom of the deck. So 1, 2, 3 to the bottom of the deck, which won't really matter. You're going to normal summon your Candina, activate effect, and you're going to get yourself a free reincarnation. And now you finish your board with a Droll Reincarnation combo with a Sayuja, with a boosted up Candina. So the Candina's going to be 21. You have Sayuja on the field. You're going to have the Droll Reincarnation play just off that. And then off of that, you're probably just going to win anyways because next turn, your opponent basically won't be able to play. Next turn, I guess you open Called by the Grave. So you really just got to beat your opponent down. Thank you guys for watching this deck profile and this combo video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. With that, guys, SPANK signing out. Peace.